I didn't eat yesterday until 7 p.m. or maybe 8. And all I ate was golden raisins mixed with salted peanuts. I'm trying to only eat fruit for a few days. Three days. But also fast up until 7 p.m. I don't want to eat until 7 p.m. and I only want to eat once a day. So I can detox my body and kind of take control over my life a little bit more. I feel like if I can control my diet, I can control everything else, like my emotions, my way of thinking, my discipline. So in order to develop that, I have to make some changes, and my diet is one of them. So far, so good. We're on day 2. It's about 5 o'clock, so I've got 2 more hours, and I'm already planning to eat maybe like a cucumber salad and a tangerine and some more of that trail mix, because that trail mix slaps, and it's so simple and it's so good. I love golden raisins. They taste so much better to me than the other raisins. What are they, brown, purple, red, something? Tell you a crazy story. One time I was in this trailer and I was looking at this girl's nails, and I told her that they were really pretty. I was like, that's my favorite color. I was like, great, I love your nails. They're beautiful. And she was like, they're purple. And as she told me that, I was looking at her nails, still admiring them. And the second she said that they were purple, right before my eyes, they went from gray to purple. Isn't that crazy? That showed me that day how other people's influence can affect how you see the world. I'll never forget that. I forgot that I had beans soaking in my refrigerator. I used to sit them out until last month when I sat them out for too long and they fermented. So after I cooked them, they were very, very bitter. Now I covered them expertly with my seasonings, but my kids picked up on it. Like, there's no getting around that. Like, they know what it's supposed to taste like, and they had that twang. You know the twang. So they got wasted. So I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Now I'm more diligent. It wasn't even so much that I left it out for too long. I left it out in the heat for too long. That was the issue. I cannot stand when they have stuff all over my seasonings. I'm preparing my kitchen to clean. I clean the walls, the cabinets, the floors, wash all the dishes, and then I cook. I get all my ingredients together and line it up. I just function better when things are ordered. So now I'm gonna go grab the rest of my ingredients. I'm not doing too much on it. I'm just doing onions, garlic, and crushed tomatoes. I stopped getting those canned tomatoes because they had some kind of chemical in it that was toxic to humans. I was standing right there looking it up in Dollar General, and they all had it in there. It was like some kind of preservative, but it wasn't like good for us. So I just didn't get it. But it wasn't in the crushed tomatoes. So. Ooh, all these avocado. Cut up my garlic.
I just want to give you credit real quick.
I love you too. Now we're going in with the garlic. I'm trying not to use so much oil in my food. We're going in with olive oil so I can saute my onions before I put my beans in there. I'm using my Dutch oven today. And the directions that came with the Dutch oven said that they don't do well on high temperatures. So I like to cook on a medium or an 8. I really don't like to cook on high temperatures. If I want to deep fry something, I do not use my Dutch oven. I like to do my soups and stews and stuff in here. I'll do my beans in here. I'll do my gravy in here. But anything that needs to be deep fried, I do not recommend using a cast iron, well, a Dutch oven. Which is a type of cast iron skillet, but. Alright, I'm gonna let that sit. I'm gonna put that on like a 7. I'm gonna go wash some dishes and get my seasonings together. I'm trying to see what I'm in the mood for today. That's how I choose my seasonings, based on my mood. I almost always, as my base, use 2 different salts. Sometimes I have gray. I've only actually bought that once, but I always have Mediterranean style sea salt and Himalayan pink salt. So the sea salt is really, really strong. So I use mostly that, and then I back it up with the sweetness of the pink salt. It's both fine ground. One says fine grind, one says fine ground. So who knows which one is correct. Either way, how much salt I have. And I'll probably end up having to salt. I'm one of those people that salt at every stage. Let me pay attention. Very little bit of pepper. And on OD on black pepper. I really don't need any ground mustard, but it's just so dang tasty. Just want to put a little bit in there. I should put a tiny bit of cumin since we're using this for burritos. We want to give it that umami flavor and try to make it authentic. A little bit of onion powder, which I don't like using, but it gives it so much flavor. I just got some oregano in. I don't usually put oregano in there, but I'm going to just a little bit. That looks like weed. That smells amazing. Gotta make sure to do a very small amount of cumin because that can get overwhelming and then it just tastes like dogs. It tastes like how dogs smell to me. So I'm gonna do some chili powder. Cause I like a lot of flavor, like we need flavor. And some smoked paprika. Tiny bit of turmeric. That helps with anxiety and depression. You gotta couple it with black pepper though. I'm not happy with this. I'm gonna add some more onion. And just like the tiniest bit of garlic powder because I'm already using actual garlic. But I have to make a very flavorful pre-salt, pre-mixed salt seasoning. So that my food has flavor. Alright, I feel like this is good. Alright, I'm taking the top off my crushed tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to these onions and just throw a little bit of the pink salt on top of them. Like I said, I season it every step of the way as far as the salt. Or I find that food is just too bland. Love this, got it from Amazon. I know my onions are ready when I can smell it. Just a little bit. So this has my onions and my garlic in it. So now I'm going to add my pre-soaked beans. That's only half. I just want to get a little bit mixed before I add any more. I use the Dutch oven because if I use anything else, I put too much water or broth. As you see, I make my own broth to put in the beans instead of just water so it has more flavor. If I don't use this, I'll put too much water in it. I used to have really watery beans, but you know better, you do better. Oh, tomatoes. Actually, let me, some of the seasoning. I want to make sure every bean is coated with this salt situation I made. I only put half of it in there. Now I'll put in my crushed tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I put them in everything. They're my secret ingredient. Tomatoes and cinnamon. Those are my secret ingredients. Because sometimes a dish is not balanced as far as saltiness and sweetness. And sugar should not be put in your food because it's going to prevent you from absorbing nutrients. There's no nutritional benefit to sugar. That's why it's better to use either a sweet fruit and add it to your food, or use honey or agave, because those actually have nutritional benefits for your body. And we do not need very much water for these beans at all. Here's the rest of my seasoning. So now I'm gonna make this broth. It's just gonna be water, the tiniest bit of salt, and like paprika. And that will be what we boil our beans in. Then I'm gonna boil them at a high temperature, like a 8, until they come to, I'm gonna heat them at like an 8 until they boil, and then I'm gonna simmer them until they're done. You want to slow cook beans. I used to think that you had to cook them at a high temperature. They take forever if you cook them too high. You need to coax them open. All right, let's go make our broth. There's really nothing to it. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of salt in here and a little bit of paprika and some water, and that's it. I use this technique with a lot of dishes, and what I put in the broth and how much I put in the broth varies. Sometimes I'll put onion powder in there, turmeric, whatever. More salt, it all depends on what I'm making. I make this broth when I'm doing my gravy and my vegan mac and cheese as well. You want to just cover the beans. See? That'll be enough. And I'll keep this to the side just in case I need more, but I won't. These beans have already expanded. It won't take them long to cook. And stir these really, really well. Turn this up to an 8. Come back in about 15 minutes when it's at a boil, and then I'm gonna turn it down to like a 4. And then after about an hour or 2, I'll turn it down to a 2. And then after an hour or 2, I'll put it on low and it'll be done. Everything's going well. These are our peppers. These are our tomatoes. These are going to need to be transplanted within the next week. We're getting to we've got our true leaves now, I guess is what they called them. And they're supposed to be 4 inches high. I don't know if this is 4 inches or not. I think this is like 2.5 maybe. So yeah, I gotta go get some more pots. Hefty trash bags suck. They are not hefty. Amazon trash bags are better. No. This is what I'm eating today. 2 small golden potatoes, about 1/4 of a small onion, some carrots, red pepper, celery. I'm gonna put that in the oven at 450 for 30 minutes. This is going in the freezer for my compost bin. And I'm going to sit out my white wheat, non-dairy, non-egg, Belgian waffle and pancake batter. Sit out for about 15-20 minutes. Basically, the whole time this is cooking. So it's nice and malleable. It's gonna be delicious. And I eat at 7 o'clock now. I'm putting myself on this new diet where I eat once a day at 7 p.m. I was gonna do only eating fruit, but I don't think I should do both at one time. If I'm gonna do a fruit fast, I think I should do that separate than just like putting 24 hours between each meal. So I'm just doing portion control and making sure that everything that I'm making is nutrient based, and I'm not just eating for flavor. I want to develop self-control, so I'm gonna do this diet for a couple weeks, maybe a month. We'll see, you know. This is my trail mix. Peanuts and golden raisins. So good. My vegetables are done. I'm just waiting for my waffle. Oh. Coconut oil instead of butter. I'm a non-dairy person. So about 2 tablespoons or 2 soup spoons. And I'm going in with my agave. Not too much on it. Literally. I really could have gone without eating this because I had a mandarin before I started eating this trail mix and I'm low-key full. Here we go. Yum. I already had the Belgian waffle mix. I didn't want to waste it. Check on our beans. This needs to be much lower. It's on a 4 and it shouldn't be boiling, so I'm going to put it on a 2 and taste it. Make sure we have enough seasoning. That's good. I'm not going to salt it. I'm going to let it keep cooking. I like that. It's that garlic. Whenever I forget to put garlic in there, it's not as flavorful. That's good. I like it. And I'm glad we did all the peppers, the chili peppers and all that, the little bit of cumin. That's got a lot of flavor. I cannot stand watery sauce, flavorless sauce, watery beans, flavorless beans. That's why I salt at every step. All right. That's going to take another hour or so. And now I like to let my food sit so that the flavors can meld. I'm actually really tired. My son started his new job last night, and I was waiting for him to get back. So I woke up at like 5 in the morning. And I didn't want to say I was panicking. I wasn't panicking, but I just started like worrying just because I'm not used to him being gone. And I don't know. I had to pace a little bit and pray and just pray over him and remind myself that he's okay in the world, that he is grown, he's not a little kid, he knows how to move, he's your son, like he's been trained properly, he is going to be fine, you know. So we have to be careful not to put our own fears and doubts onto our kids. So I prayed through it, like I prayed through everything, for real, for real. I'm not making no moves without praying first. But I could have really gone without making this meal. I did it. I didn't want to waste my batter, but I don't think I'm gonna eat it again tomorrow. I might just make it for one of the kids, use the rest of the batter for them. I don't think that this switch to eating once a day and being more in control of my portions than I have been is going to be too much of a problem, because the longer I push my fast, the quicker I get full. Like I had a handful of trail mix and 1 mandarin, and I'm full. I'm working to get up to drinking 2 liters of water a day. I'm on 1 liter. I just keep refilling the salted water bottles that I get. I clean this out, bleach it out, or whatever, like once a week so it doesn't build up bacteria. So I'm probably just going to wait for my food to cool down and then clean the house one more time and then lay it down. That waking up so early threw my whole schedule off. So I need to catch up on some rest. Thank you for spending time with me here in Fury World. If you're interested in checking out my music, it's available on all music streaming platforms worldwide under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss. I love you. Don't be too hard on yourself this week. You know, changing takes time and effort. We're doing a little bit of change every single day. Consistency, trying to stay positive, and when we feel down, praying our way through it. And you're not by yourself on this healing journey. You always have me. I'm here, girl. Listen. I ain't going nowhere but up, but I'm still going to be on this YouTube every other day. I love you. Have a great week. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.